Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome. Today is Thursday, August 18th, 2022. I am Solid Blue Sister, and this is My Turn to Talk. Welcome, the only crazy lady. You are number one today. And Frankie, Crazy Lady beat you today. You're number two. Welcome. And to those joining us over on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, welcome. Tada, on time and first. Yes, you are. Oh, my world. Oh my God, the world is going to end. No, it's not. Well, it might, but not because of that. I don't think. Okay, I am going to stop it about here. Let's see. Let's just okay. Oh, Frankie's sending you some love. She's sending some love. Okay, so today, I will. Hey, Miss Brina, welcome. Today I want to talk about what would you say to your younger self. So, if you could pick one age or one decade, what would you tell yourself? What advice would you give? And for me, if I have to pick one age, it would probably be 26. Nope, I take that back. It would probably be 22. And what decade would be my 20s? If I can do any decade over, it would be my 20s. Welcome, Mr. B. Welcome. The 20s, when they say that you're young and dumb, yep, that was me. Bad decisions left and right. And one main decision that I had that I would definitely do over in my 20s, because again, my 20s, just bad decisions, was relationship wise. Yep, would have totally wouldn't have been a done over or do over. I never would have done it in the first place. So yeah, that would have been yeah. So would you tell your younger self, would you pat yourself on the back? Would you scold your younger self? Like I said, any age or any decade, would you tell yourself to do something better, not to do it at all? A relationship you were in, something you said to someone? Hey, Doss, welcome. Crazy Lady says, would it be a few sentences or Crazy Lady could be whatever you want it to be if you had to tell yourself something. If it's a sentence or a lecture, because mine would definitely be a lecture. Let's see. Crazy Lady says you can only depend on yourself. Okay. All right. So Crazy Lady, when you say you can only depend on yourself, do you mean that even if you were to get married, that you still could only depend on yourself other than your husband or your children? You can still only depend on yourself first and foremost before other people in your life that are important in your life. And Doss says, I would tell my younger self to get a haircut, you hippie. And Rena says, I would like to go back to age 17 and go to school to be an auto mechanic and not listen to other people telling me girls don't do that. You know what, Brina? More power to you. Yes. Crazy Lady says that would be my words of wisdom to myself. And Crazy Lady also says, unfortunately, I have been married more than once. Okay. All right. Well, Brina, when I was a sophomore, I was the only girl in shop class, or wood shop, whatever back then was called, wood shop. And the teacher told me, you're in the wrong class. I'm like, no, I'm not. This is the class that I chose. And after I did it, more girls were going to shop and more boys were going to home ec, because there were some boys who like to cook, you know. And one of them now is a chef, and in fact, he's done 2 terms on Master Chef. So, you know, welcome, GP man, welcome. Um, uh, Works the wood. I am outside building something for my plants. I will pick up tools. I will do anything, So Brina says, I would have loved to have wood or auto shop. They made me take home ec. Well, they tried to direct me to home ec, but I was like, nope, 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 nope. And they couldn't say no. There were no rules saying that girls couldn't take, wood shop or do any of that other stuff. So they couldn't kick me out. Crazy Lady says, and you can only depend upon yourself. Don't leave things in others' hands. Okay, all right. Ninja Bunny, welcome, and DMAC, welcome to you. So, you guys, is there any particular? Okay, so Brina says that she would go back to age 17. So, Brina, is there a particular decade that you would tell yourself something, or any advice that you would give? And Doss, when you say your younger self, do you want to put an age on that, or do you just want to leave it the way it is in terms of getting your hair cut? Getting a haircut. Let's see. Crazy Lady says, because their value of things may not be yours. That is true, because what you value, other people may not, and I don't necessarily mean something that you physically value, just your values. Period. Dawn says, realistically, I wouldn't say anything to my younger self. Okay, all right, okay. Um, yes, GP. Before you came in, I said that I would go back to 22 and tell myself not to date a particular person that I did horrible relationship, horrible. And my 20s, I would just give myself a lecture on my 20s. I made bad decisions in my 20s. So my decade would be my 20s. My specific year would definitely be 22. And Brina says, no, just age 17. I think I follow through with being an auto mechanic. My life would be different in a good way. Okay. Well, Brina, I mean, is it something that you would want to do now? I mean, do you work with autos at all? I mean, do you tinker with them, or I mean, do you ever get up under the hood, or you know? Let's see. Nah, it's too late now to go back to school. Okay, all right. But is it too late to just learn a couple of things that you just do on your own to your own car? I guess that's what I'm asking. Do you, um, like, can you work on your own car? Can you, if something were to break down on your own car or on a friend's car or whatever, would you be able to fix it? I guess that's what I'm asking. Okay, yeah, I could, but there's no time. Okay, all right, okay. So, let's see, I would go back to age 16, change my prom date pick. Interesting. Change your prom date pick. Okay. Um, may I ask why you chose her in the first place, and then ask why you would change who you would have gone out with, GP? And Crazy Lady says, Brina, is never too late for school. Shame on you. I can relate to that. My prime pick is so bad. Okay, no, he says prom date. Okay, so GP man, are you saying prom date pic as in your picture or who you went out um for who you went out with for prom? And Brina is agreeing with Crazy Lady that it is choose the bad girl. Oh, choose the bad girl over the good girl. Okay, so he's talking. Okay, that's okay. That's what I thought you meant. Okay, all right. And why would you ever wanted to go out with the bad girl as opposed to the good girl, Mr. GP? Hey, shy lady, welcome, welcome. Juju, welcome, welcome, welcome to you both. Welcome, Minnesota family. Okay. Bad girls are more fun. Okay. All right. Bad girls are more fun. So that's the only reason why you would go back to age 16 to change your prom pick. Okay. All right. Well, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. Bad girls or bad boys can get you into trouble. So, so Shy Lady, Minnesota family, and Juju. Juju still here. Just talking about what would you say to your younger self? You know, would you say something to your younger self if you could go back in time, pick one age or one decade? Shy Lady, welcome.
Hey, Solid, and
Hey, hey,
everyone
hey.
else. I would probably, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I probably would go to my 20s, um, because that's a decade where you are coming into your real adulthood, and that's the age where it really shape your. I think it shapes your years going forward. Those 20s. So I would say to my younger self to be more assertive and not afraid to take risk.
Okay. All right. Is there a particular age in your 20s that you would tell yourself that?
I would probably go with age 20 when I was probably a sophomore in college.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
All right. Okay. So, in terms of your relationships and everything, you're fine. You're fine with that, or um,
Yeah, I'm okay with with the relationships. It's just that I wish that I would have been bolder in some of my previous decisions. I let fear talk me out of things. And I just think if I could talk to my younger self, I would I would say that my daughter is reading a book that a friend of hers suggested to her. I can't think of the name right now, but I can get it if anybody has a child or know anyone in their 20s. It's a book about being in your 20s, and that's the age where you really need to like go for it. And it's a really great book from what I've heard, and several of her friends in their 20s have read it. So if I get the title from her, I'll just put it in the chat if anyone wants to pass it on to someone else. But we were just talking about that today about being in your 20s. So that's what I would say to my younger self. I would not be afraid to step out and try new things, whether that's geographically going to cities or out of the country. Um, Career wise, it's just so many things that I wish as a younger person I would have just went for instead of letting fear talk me out of those chances.
okay. Hold on one second. You guys, can you guys hear me? Okay. Hello.
I can hear you.
Okay. Juju, I think that could be you. I think that could be you. Juju's having some sound issues. So I think she's popping in and out. Oh, okay. So you bring up some good points. So for anyone else, have you guys, like what Shy Lady said, have there been a particular time in your life where you wish you had tried more things or been more assertive, that you think that it would change how you are now? Welcome, Heiko and Stinger. Welcome. Let's see. Okay. Okay, you guys are saying hi to each other. All right. Again, Charlotte, you bring up a lot of good points, and in terms of me being assertive, I've never had that issue. My issue has been more with some decisions that I've made, and my 20s just, I like I said, I could have made better ones, but I'm happy to say that you learn from knocking your head up against the wall a couple of times. And like they say, you live and learn. I have lived and I have learned. So let's see. Okay, you guys are still talking to each other. Okay, so do you think that when you're young, or let me put it like this, I'm not going to say do you think, when you're in high school, is there a particular decade or age that you look forward to? I mean, I know, yes, you look forward to turning 18, and then you look forward to turning 21. But for me, um, my 30s my 30s were good, but I was excited to turn 40. So I guess that's what I'm asking. Is there a particular decade that you, or age that you embraced? Stinger says, "Stop calling me old." Stinger, I don't even know how old you are. Oh, so is there any particular age that you embraced? Because to me, when I turn 40 is when I seem to have really gotten my rhythm, where I really seem to start to really come into my own. And it seems like that seems kind of old to do so. But like I said, I lived and learned, and um 20s I made bad decisions. 30s I, you know, started to really get everything straight. And when I hit 40, it was like, yep, this is it. Okay, Stinger says my 20s and 30s are really fun. Stinger says my 40s started like hell. Um, I like my mid 20s. Okay. So would you guys say that when you're in your 20s, and I know people, you hear the term young and dumb, whatever. Do you think that applies to your 20s or applies to your high school years? Anybody? Welcome, Power Girl. Welcome. Okay, so 20s. Okay, so 20s were your most fun. Okay, and Stinger says young and invincible. Welcome, Alpha Mike. Welcome. Uh, young and invincible. Okay, all right. So Shiley, was 20s your most fun because you were in school, or you were just, when you say most fun, were you partying a lot, or
It was partying. It was clubs. I like to dance.
okay.
So That's what I did. I went out every weekend starting Thursday. I party hard every weekend, every club in the Chicago area, and some in New York, some in LA. I had a blast in my 20s.
Okay.
I
All
just
right.
wish I had been more assertive when opportunities came instead of shutting it down, not wanting to leave Chicago, whatever, to make a career move. I just wish I had did a little bit more, um, I guess, take more risk. But I had a lot of fun in my 20s.
But did you not do that? Did you not take those risks because out of fear or you didn't want to leave family? What was your reason for not
It was
taking?
kind of both. It was kind of both
Okay.
because it was out of having not having the support of my family there, in a big city. I had relatives in LA, but they were not close relatives. They were on my father's side. My father's brother had some kids out there that were my first cousins, but they didn't have the kind of lifestyle that I was leading. They were off into a whole bunch of other stuff. And so I wanted to go to LA, but I couldn't reach out to them because they were involved in some, nefarious type activities. And I didn't think that was good for me.
Okay.
So, but I knew people in LA. I had friends in LA, but I wasn't ready to say, "Hey, can I stay with you for a little while?" I never even approached them to see if that was a possibility because I guess I was afraid of people saying no, and then I was afraid of getting out there and failing, just getting out there, taking that risk and failing, and that just prevented me from doing some things. So I still had fun, but I wonder what it would have been like if I had taken that move and said, if you get it, I'm leaving Chicago, I'm going out to LA, and I'm going to really put my foot forward and make a career that I really wanted. So,
Okay.
but anyway,
Okay.
yeah.
No, I mean, and what was I gonna say? Uh it's interesting that you say that because what you wanted to do is what I did. Because I could not wait to get out of Chicago because I could not stand that cold weather anymore. But you know, but that's when you should never be afraid of the word no. Because all it is just a word. If someone tells you no, okay. Then you try plan B, whatever. But I totally get what you're saying. Totally get what
Yeah,
what you're saying.
you
So
did, and you did. I remember when you went out there and you did it. You were like, "I'm out." But I've always, and that's one of the things I've always like as our friendship. I'm, letting people know we've been friends for like 40 years, and I've always liked that about Solid. She speaks her mind, like she says on her show, speak your mind or whatever, tell your truth, and she goes for it. She lives her life. She doesn't give a damn with who says what, and that's one of the characteristics that she has that I've always liked about her. And she
yeah,
has many great characteristics, but that's
yeah,
one of the
but as you
strongest.
yeah, but as you know, so some of them have backfired on me when people are like,
Oh, of
sometimes
course, but
you
I'm just
need to
saying
keep your mouth
the
shut.
the strong positive ones
Well, thank
is
you.
yeah. But anyway, so that's just my thing. I just should have been a little bit more assertive. I have no regrets, but I just always in the back of my mind wonder what it could have been. But
Okay,
anyway,
all right, all right. So Brina, so listening to what Shy Lady said, and then listening to and seeing the response that Crazy Lady gave you in terms of going back to school, do you really think that it's too late for you to go back to school to become an auto mechanic? And okay, and then DMAX says, "Are you saying that these situations are regrets?" And Heiko says, "I'm in the middle of 20s. What is the best advice you can give me?" Uh, okay, so D, are you talking to Shy Lady when you say, are you saying these situations are regrets? Are you talking to Shy Lady or And Shy Lady D Max says you have a great podcast voice. Um, Alpha Mike says I slap my younger self and say study more plus exercise. Also stay away from certain people and focus on me 100%. You know what, Alpha Mike, the whole thing about staying away from certain people, yeah, yeah, yeah. If I can go back and relationship wise, when I was like 22, stay away from certain people. Um, so D, are you okay? Both. So Shy Lady, D is asking you, are you saying that these situations are regrets?
Oh no, no, no. I don't regret the decisions. What I do, I don't regret how my life turned out because I feel like I have a pretty good life now. I have a husband who's I've been married to for like 30 years, who's been very supportive. I have children who are doing very well in their life, and I feel that I've been very blessed with the life that I have. But in terms of my career, I wonder what that could have been like had I gone out to LA and pursued, um, you know, the um, the writing that I wanted to do. I always wanted to write for like a network or something like ABC. I always wanted to do that. I wanted to do what like Shonda Rhimes is doing now. I had ideas and things that I had written, scripts and uh, movies, things like that, but I never pursued it. And it's pretty much, I wonder what if. But
Well,
anyway, I don't have any
I
regrets about my life. I really enjoy the life that I have now. I really do.
well, good, good. And I will say that I did read your book, so I did read it. Um, let's see, power. Let's see, Power Girl. Thank you for liking the show. Alpha Mike says, "Got to learn from your mistakes." Heiko says, Stinger, I would love to save more than I do now, but I have chicks around me. Okay. Take your money and run. Minnesota family says, salad has been a huge part of my family's life. Oh, okay. Minnesota family. Welcome, welcome. Yes, Benny's family. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. This is a family I've been going back and forth to see. My childhood friend of since I was 14 was hit by a DUI, and he has been in the hospital for the last 2 months. And yeah, this family, yeah. Thank you very much, and thank you for popping on. I appreciate it. Welcome, Diana Atiki. Um, okay, so Heiko says that he's in his mid 20s. Is there any advice that you can give? So anyone give Heiko some advice? And Alpha Mike says to Shy Lady, do you blog? You can still accomplish your dream of writing in other forms. So, Shy Lady,
Yeah.
wait, hold on for a
I
minute. So hold on for a minute, Shy Lady. Brina says to Heiko, don't give those chicks your money. I'm assuming that's what you mean by giving him advice in your 20s. And focus on saving money while you're young. It will pay off when you're older. Very true. Okay, Shy Lady. So what Alpha Mike says, do you blog?
me?
Yep.
Oh, do I blog?
Yes, that's what Alpha Mike
No.
is asking you.
No, I don't. I don't blog, and I probably should. And that's something that I have also considered. But I think I will probably blog and get into some things later this year. But I also wanted to say to Haiku, I agree totally with um, GP man. Save your money because you're. I mean, you're in your 20s. It seems like a very short time, even though every decade is 10 years, but it seems like it's a very short period. But save your money. And I would say be wise about your money and don't be afraid to take risk. Don't be afraid to take risk that would be a benefit to you. if you can see that there's good in it, don't talk yourself out of an opportunity. That's what I would say. Don't talk yourself out of an opportunity. Don't be afraid to, to step in the water. Don't be afraid. That's what I would suggest to you is take risks, be wise, and definitely put your money toward avenues that will benefit you in the long run.
Okay. All right. And taking risks is a part of life. And I think we take risks all the time. I think when you're 5 years old, you're taking a risk. When you go to school, for the first time, and you're away from your mother and father, you're taking a risk. Because you're in a new place. You're meeting that other little kid who's also new. I mean, I think every part of our life is some type of risk. But again, sometimes you do have to take those risks, and sometimes you fail, and sometimes you succeed, and sometimes you get told no, and you're like, okay, you just try it again. Welcome, Caps. Welcome. And Alpha Mike says, invest in yourself. Yes. And DMAC says, get mentors to bounce your ideas against to get advice. That's also very, very good. So again, everyone, is there anything that, even though you may not be that age now, is there anything that you would want your older self to tell you, that would to tell you now? Is there anything that you would want your older self to say, hey, this is happening, so make sure this, and this, and this, because for me, my older self, the age that I'm not there yet, is always telling me to make sure that, in terms of where I am now, to make sure that everything is set and prepared for my son for when I'm no longer here. That's what my older self in the future is telling me now. So, do you guys have anything that your older self would probably tell you? GP says, hey, Caps, I knew you were going to pop up. GP says, also, if your job is dead end and don't appreciate you, bounce many jobs out there. You know what, GP? You're right, because there are some jobs that some of them are just not going to get any better. Alpha's Mike says, congratulations. My older self would say, congratulations, you survived it. Oh, yeah. Hey, Caps. Welcome.
Oh, hello. I hope you're doing very well. I've been
I
busy,
am.
very busy. I've been on Podbean for a while, like on and off, but now out. It's my daughter talking in the background. But anyway, yeah, my older self would say, don't worry so much in what you're going to become, because, life will become itself. It will come to fruition in the end, as long as you try. So, like, that's what I would say to my younger self. I would try and humble them and try and calm them down to not worry so much, because I worried about what am I gonna do, what am I gonna be, and sometimes I think that you shouldn't always. I think that it should be on your it should be there. It's like if you want to go to the gym, it's always in your mind. All right, you might not do it, but you still got it in your head, if you know what I mean. It's like a goal, and even though you're not doing it at the minute, but you're still kind of thinking, but that is my goal. Even with many things. So yeah, worrying is stress ultimately, and ultimately stress is a big killer. And as a child, I was a worrier due to my circumstances. But with my children now, I make sure they don't worry about nothing. But I do make sure they know what they need to be bothered about. But it's not about worry; it's about knowing and knowledge, not about feeling scared. So yeah, that's what I would tell my younger self.
Okay.
I hope Crucible and High Cool and everyone and Chill Lady and every one of you are okay. Thank you for listening to me. But yeah.
Well, Caps, let me ask this. Would you tell would your older self that you're not there yet, however age that may be in the future, tell you something now? Like, what would you want your older self to tell you now?
Wow, in that respect, it's quite easy that, you know what, you pat yourself on the back, you know, because you didn't become what you got brought, you didn't copy, you didn't copycat, you actually, you know, you're unique and you're your own person. You didn't have to follow movements that are quite harsh, and yeah, I think that I've done well. I think that I don't think, you know, you should get a big head or nothing, because we're all still learning. But yeah, I think that you'd pat yourself on the back. I do believe, because positivity is everything, and it only breeds positivity at the end of the day. So
Okay. Okay. All right. And Charlotte says to Heiko, you're welcome. May I suggest reading The Defining Decade by Meg Jay, a clinical psychologist? It's been on the bestsellers list the last 10 years. My daughter's 26 and said it is what 20-something should read. Thank you, Minnesota family. I do appreciate you. Welcome, Crucible. Let's see. Heiko says, I've been with good girls. Now I'm in hell. Okay. All right. You know, okay, so let's talk about the good girls, the good boys, the bad girls, the bad boys. So realistically, would you tell your younger self that you probably should not have dated the the bad girl
can I answer this straight
or
away?
the
Can I
bad
answer
boy?
it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so no, I completely believe that what we do is when we're younger, and what we look at and the trials and tribulations in the movement is what actually learns you and teaches you as a person. It molds you as a person. So I really, if we took all the bad things away, we would think life was that golden. It would be stupid, you know, and like it. You know where I'm coming from. It's like you have to learn from your own mistakes in order to make you a better person. Like you
Okay.
have to, and hopefully your mistakes ain't that big, but they're enough to realise. You know. So yeah.
Okay. Brina says the LOL, the bad boys are fun, but it's all a headache afterwards. Way too much drama. So, Brina, do you agree with what Cap said, though, that, you know, you learn from these, you know, bad girls, bad boys, that maybe this is not what you want in the future, you know? That
Experience it, don't you? You have to experience it in order to have a perception of it. You can't have a perception of something if you've never been through it. I hate people like that. From someone to theory, like kind of look at something and go, oh yeah, what I would do in that certain situation, where really if you've been in that situation, then you can absolutely completely tell people what actually happened and how you learnt from that situation. So I think that's life in itself. So I wouldn't try and backtrack. I'd just hope that some people never learn, but other people actually do learn, and they're the good people. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So, and Brina, she completely agrees with you, Caps. So, let's see. Stinger is giving Caps a hand. Thank you, everyone, for liking the show. GP says bad girls know how to love a man. You know what, GP? So, are you trying to say that good girls don't?
He's really a woman.
You know what? GP, I'm going to take that question back. I'm going to take that question back. Crucible, welcome.
Hello, Sal. Hello, everybody. Yeah, I guess the whole phrase "bad boys and bad girls." I know who you're talking about. You know, I grew up with them, but back then, I was such a goody two shoes. Anything seemed quote unquote bad to me, but it is kind of a subjective word. When we say bad for a girl, I'm assuming that was promiscuous or slutty, as they used to say back in the day. What would be a bad boy? A guy who dates a lot of women, a guy who gets in a lot of trouble, a guy who's got
Completely the opposite. They're
edge to him.
completely the same.
Yeah, so I think they're looking for something that is maybe, I certainly did at times, looking for something that's the opposite of what you ordinarily would be attracted to. It's the forbidden nature of it. You're supposed to stay away from these people. Your parents say she's not a good girl, and you say, "What do you mean by that, Mom? Trust me, she's not a good girl," or "He's not a good boy. He's not good for you." And the more you tell them that, the more intrigued they are by wanting to be with that person. And I agree 100% with Caps. You got to go through those people. Those people are teachers. They're life lessons. They teach you what you probably don't want, that everything that glitters is not gold, shiny objects, all that stuff. Those are necessary people in our lives that get us to the people we ultimately want to be with. But we're all tempted by that, that forbidden stuff. Who wouldn't be? I mean, Adam and Eve's a perfect example. Don't bite that apple. Well, what do you think they're going to do? Bite the damn apple.
Crucible, can I interrupt you for 2 seconds? But I don't want to take you off.
Jump in.
Thank you. But what I really like, I fully agree with what you're saying. But it's going through that situation, but then rendering yourself, because it's the approach then that that you're walking into a situation like that afterwards. Where before you wouldn't know that. It was all about man and girl, you get promiscuous, and you know what I mean, like we all do at that certain age. And I do believe that sometimes you'll wake up in the morning, or you wake up and you might have only kissed the girl, or and you'll think, I shouldn't have done that, or I should have done that, or that was brilliant, or that was bad. And that's the whole point of being a human being, and being able to know yourself and being able to learn from your movements as you grow older. So, but carry on, sorry.
No, I agree with that. And, it's the old stereotype back when we were younger, and it probably exists today. Guys, boys were kind of romanticized for their bad boy image. That was kind of like the girls were attracted to them, and the boys kind of wanted to be like them. But women, girls, it was just the opposite. There was no romanticizing promiscuity or sluttiness. I mean, you got a bad rap as a girl, and you could not shake it. You couldn't shake it until you left school, graduated, moved, or whatever. That's just my experience with the girls I grew up with. So it's the old stereotype. If a guy does it, everybody glorifies it. But if a girl does it, she's damaged goods. But that's just kind of the society we live in, I think.
Okay, so
Totally right.
Okay,
Sorry.
Once again, just trying to tie all this in. So again, for some of you, would you tell your younger self not to date the bad boy or the bad girl? And I'm gonna take it even away from the bad girl, bad boy thing. Would you tell your younger self not to hang out with bad people? And when I say bad people, I'm talking about the ones to be
honest with you, if I didn't fucking hang around with the bad people, I wouldn't have met my missus, and I wouldn't have had 4 children. But It doesn't mean you're bad. It doesn't mean you're bad.
No,
it doesn't mean my missus is bad. It just means that situation. No, I'm going to answer it. I'm not saying that you're saying that. I'm just saying it in general. Sorry, I don't mean to
No, go ahead.
But yeah, I just believe that some people, like my mum, used to say, "Oh no, you're with a bad crowd there," and it's like, Mum, I'm not. I'm not with a crowd either. I'm with one person. And it's and people could look at my family and go, "Oh, you're bad eggs," or you could look at other people and go, "Oh, you're bad eggs," and you're stereotypical. But then when you actually meet a person that was the worker of the family, and my family always workers, it's just like, she's the worker, and we got together and it was amazing. And it's like, you get put into that situation, so I would never say that I regret not hanging around with someone, because my best mate is her brother. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So Like,
Okay.
I'm 3.5 years younger than my missus. I was chilling. I was a spotty little teenager in a tent in the back garden while she was going clubbing. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, it was, yeah, man. So I would never regret it because I wouldn't have the life that I've got today, to be fair. And it isn't all hairs and graces, it isn't all perfect, but it isn't all bad either. So, you take the rough with the smooth, and like we say, every day we're learning. Like, I've got a 14, 13, 12, and 9-year-old in my house, and I'm constantly learning. I'd never say that I'm bloody know it all and I know how to raise kids straight away, because every one of the little bastards are fucking individual. Every one of them, just like us all. And until everyone knows that, rather than trying to be regiment and trying to teach your kids and trying to tell your kids you should not do this, you should, if you could tell yourself back in the day to not do this and not go through the shit, then you think you'd be a better person. I think you'd be more of a timid person, actually. I think you wouldn't have much confidence because you wouldn't be going through the shit that you would normally meant to go through, Did you get where I'm coming from?
Oh yeah, I absolutely do.
It's...
I absolutely do. Let's see. Heiko says, I asked my ex.
And my kids in the background as well, laughing and joking and feeling absolutely confident and comfortable in their own house. When I was a kid, I used to go to bed and, a completely different story. So it just shows you, doesn't it?
Okay, so Heiko says, I asked my ex, who's a good boy. She said he must be a good performer. Okay, Alpha Mike says, we shouldn't divide good and bad because people, I'm assuming you're saying change things up. You may think they're good at first, and then bam, she tries to chop it off. Okay. Heiko says, might be 20s definition
That's
how you
stone
define now. I don't understand what you mean, Heiko, when you says might be 20s definition how you define now. Stinger says, I had good friends to save $50 a week starting at 19 years old, and I didn't listen to them. Again, saving money when you're young, get into the habit now. And even to me, it's never too late to start saving money, but saving it when you're young, put a little bit away, you'll be happy.
Easy as people say, man. Like, it's not as easy, man. Like, no, but it's easy if you're older. If you're older, it's easy. If you're young, it's easy. But if you've got priorities, it's fucking hard.
And I understand that. But I'm saying, even if you put away, and for some people, you may laugh and say, well, that's not a lot, and it doesn't, so what, that what is that going to do? But even if you put away $1 a week, that's $365 that you're going to have at the end of the year. So, I understand that, that $5, that $10, that $20, whatever, if you have to pay rent, buy food, buy gas, welcome, chill. I totally get it. But I'm saying, even if you put $1 a week, again, that's $365 that you're going to have at the end of the year. So that's all I'm saying. So yeah, it is easier said than done, and that's why to me.
Can I interrupt for 2 seconds?
Yeah, go ahead.
I agree with you. If you think about it, if you buy a meal deal every day for £3, or that would cost you like $4 or $4.50. £4. $4.50 maybe, or something. But that you would be, every day, instead of making your own sarnie, instead of making your own food, it's like, you fucking idiot, really, ain't you? And that's what I do. I'm a fucking idiot.
And I get that. And Crucible, yes. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm thinking, yes, it is $52. I'm thinking $1 a day. So, but again, that's $52 more than what what you would have. And yes, DMAC, you guys did. I was thinking a dollar a day as opposed to a dollar a week. I stand corrected. Thank you for correcting me. But even so, I mean, when I used to smoke, I smoked a lot. I smoked two
Like
and
ganja.
I smoked 2.5 packs a day. And I used to buy my cigarettes by the carton. I haven't smoked in over 20 years. One of the best decisions that I ever made. But one thing that I did do is the money that I did this for 1 year. The money that I spent on cigarettes, I saved it. I had a shitload of money at the end of the year. So again, it's like, yeah, you say it's easier said than done, but people will go run and spend $5 on coffee, whatever. But then they'll say, well, I can't afford to do this, I can't afford to do that. So that's why I just say, tell your younger self, save your money. Tell your younger self, save your money. If you can just put a little bit away, even if you have a piggy bank, even if your children have that piggy bank, put a quarter in there, because one day that thing is going to be full. So again, that's me saying to anyone's younger self. So let's see. Mary Jane Smoke. Okay. And Cap says to grow it, and and it is maybe maybe you should, and even taking that lunch, tell your younger self to brown bag it, to for whatever, don't spend money out. I mean, how much money do people spend, going out that they could save? So
I've got with my kids. I've got bonds with my kids. Like they got bonds, so like fucking they get
along
shares and bonds. So
along
they're
those
good.
lines, one of the things I would tell my younger self, and it goes to savings and it goes to a lot of things, is to have a discipline and develop good habits. I didn't do a good job of it at all. I did a very poor job of it, in spite of my mother's admonishing me to get my head out of my ass. You have to develop good habits, and you have to be disciplined, and that goes to saving money, whether it's going to the gym, getting to work on time. These are things that I would tell my younger self, because they do matter, but also not to be too hard on yourself. Things will work out if you have any kind of a semblance of a plan. You've got a decent education, you've got a good work ethic, things will work out. I had to be into my 30s before I started to get the sense things might work out. So a lot of unnecessary stress, a lot of unnecessary anxiety, a lot of wasted energy. Had I been a little bit more calm about, you're in good shape here, you don't get too far ahead of yourself. But I think one of the things I did not do a good job of was develop a level of discipline and good habits early on that would have saved me a lot of grief, that I would tell my younger self, pay attention earlier than later.
Okay. All right. Let's see. I want to read a comment here. Hold on, guys, because I went up too fast.
Minnesota family has just joined your fan club. Welcome to the fan club. Wow, that's lovely.
And I do thank Minnesota family. This is a family. I am surprised that you guys are on Podbean, but again, this is a family I've known since I was 14, and I just saw them a couple of weeks ago. I'm gonna see them next week in Minnesota, and yeah, so I appreciate it. So Stinger says I had good friends who say 50. Okay, I read that one. There was something. Okay, Bagman says, I thought we were bad as kids, but after having kids, I think we were angels as kids in comparison. Actually, my kids are saints compared to me. 6 cents per dollar you make. Hold on, there was a comment here, guys. Mary Jane. Okay, so Vinny,
so after this.
Vinny says, instead of eating outside food every day, it's better to cook it or on your own at your own home, especially if you're living alone and independent. Plus, the excessive outside food is not good for your health. I agree with that. Stinger says, "Well, I have a savings account for each of my kids, so it will basically help them when they really need it." Yes. Bagman says, "I have an 11-year-old grandchild that started with $165 and now has 2,600 from crypto investments." Um, Chill, and I also know you are here, so I'm actually going to give Chill the mic next, Caps. Let's see. Vinny is agreeing with Crucible. Just trying to get through these. Minnesota, you joined my fan club twice. Let's see. Heiko says, "I invested land hoping to get much profit after 15 years." Okay, so Chill, welcome.
Am I coming in?
You are coming in. Yes, you are.
What's happening, everybody? I don't know here, but I'm here. This is I think a good subject because of I tell people on a regular basis that are younger than me. You know, just basically I answer this question to myself by telling them. So I definitely think that my younger self would. I don't necessarily know hmm, if they would be responsive, right? And so I guess mm, probably learning how to be more responsive to older advice, like advice in general. I've always been a person to take advice from whomever, young or old. It just depends on the actual person, right? I never like, yeah, you too young or you too ugly, you too, I don't know. Like I don't do that. You ain't got $1 million, so how can you tell me to make money? You never really know where you can get good advice from. So I always seek out good advice. But just energy though, like minds and good energy is paramount to life. I think and I think I would tell my young person that like work to be happy, but work, get busy at whatever it is. I don't care how little how it may seem to other people. If you like it, get busy at it, do it well, and you don't have to necessarily wait till you older to establish anything like legitimate. Because between young and old, they're like as far as morals and you think it's no different. It's no different from a grown up to kids. Sometimes you have a 45-year-old fucking child, and they just have a good job and have money, right? So I would tell them, I would definitely make that notable. Like I would have a real conversation. I'd probably write a book to my old self, my young self. It's like a not long, but you know,
Okay,
just to be consistent.
so Chill. Let
And
let let. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
go ahead.
No, my other question to that is, you said that you would write a book to yourself. Um, what was your older self to tell you? What was your future self tell you now?
My future could, yeah, that's why I don't know. I really don't know. I can tell you that I would probably think that he would say don't worry as much. Um, work to change whatever habits you need to change to be better. You know, and that would go from future or younger self. Always work. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. That's going to be like you always got to work. Period. So it's no like I made it. It's never really that. If you get too complacent, I feel like that's when you start to kind of die. You always want to. I don't care. Like I said, if it's something you like, you typically enjoy it. So get involved in it and go at it, and just still go at it and live a fruitful life. You know what I'm saying? Or make good energy. And I think that's what my older self would definitely say. You know what I'm saying? Put your health first. You know, and people, work on your relationships with people, cultivate them. You know, a lot of times you may be the only one in the room that wants to invoke change for the better. You know, It may be a room for the pessimists. You may have to be the light, and so stand on your, your tube and do that. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Caps, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I was on about and Chill will I fully agree with you, by the way. Yeah, you're so right, and positivity is the answer. And you know, everything isn't always positivity, but you can always look at certain things. You know, you can always look at a certain thing and try and make a positive situation, if you know what I mean. But what I was trying to say about what Crucible said, like about when you look at the way that you grew up and the way that your kids grow up, and it's like my kids have not grown up the way I've grew up, and it is so like they hear things, but we grew and we went through it. But our kids we protect them that much, even though I let them go out and do whatever, but we have made it way easier. Yeah, man, because we had to grow in different ways. Like we had to learn the hard, in my eyes, or in my life, actually, the hard way. But I weren't. I made it easier for my kids. I'm not going to lie, but they're still really clever, and they're actually cleverer than me at the age of what they are. So I'm not even going to lie. Like they're doing fucking brilliant. So yeah, man, I do believe. Yeah, we do make it easier for them because we've learned the hard way, and some people don't learn the hard way, and I suppose they're the people who either don't have kids or they have kids and they don't really care, or they care about themselves more than what they do about their children or whatnot. But
Okay.
hello, dude, Sean, and hello, everyone. Sorry, go on.
Let's see. Welcome, dude, and welcome, Shorty. I actually have to. I'm sorry. This has been my week of short shows. Not going the full 2 hours. I do apologize, but I do have other commitments I have to deal with. But Chill, I'm going to start with you. Are there any last words that you want to say, or any you want to say about any one decade that you would tell yourself, or just anything any advice that you would give anyone's younger self?
Anyone's younger self, what I would say, you know what? I forgot about confidence. Have confidence in yourself. What I learned that I'm smart as anybody else. Some people are more experienced, but you're smart as anyone else. Just be confident. Be confident, and you know, it's okay to question yourself, but still be confident in yourselves. Don't ever get cocky and arrogant, but be confident. Failure. Look to fail sometimes. It's okay to fail because you learn from it. One of my biggest things is that I didn't accomplish. I don't think as a young child accomplished enough. Like, and then what I mean by that, like just things, because you kind of like know things will change when you start to accomplish things. Like when you, whether it's sports teams, y'all want to, you might be sucked one year, then you be better the next year. You go from running I don't know, if you're working in the gym, you go from lifting 200 to 250. Like at a young age, you need to experience those things. Going from not good at math to being good at math, and recognizing it. Because maybe I experienced it, I just didn't register it accordingly. So I can know that I'm just as smart as anybody else, and I can do these things. And then things are attainable. So, searching for failure and knowing that you can overcome that failure and you can grow. And that's a huge thing, I would say. That's it.
Okay. All right. Welcome, John Gale. Um, Crucible. I'll pass the mic over to you.
Yeah, Will makes a great point. Confidence is huge. I lacked it big time when I was growing up, and it hurt me for a while. But to that point, don't be so hard on yourself. Be patient. Not everybody's on the same schedule, and that's a very difficult thing. I would go back to the 70s, probably. I was in a my teenage years and going into college, and I was very much concerned that I was not on the same schedule as everybody else, probably because I wasn't, and I beat myself up about that constantly. And the other thing, listen to your parents. They have a lot of wisdom. They talk a lot, it seems like, when we're young, but we hear them, but we don't listen to them. My mother used to say, "You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine." I'm like, well, that person and that person and that person, and that can eat you alive as a young kid. And certainly now with social media and all the pressure that comes onto kids, take a step back, listen to your elders. They have lots of life experience to share with you, and don't get worked up about the fact that somebody looks like they're going to be ahead of you. As long as you're moving forward every single day and being productive, you're going to be fine. But that's an awfully, awfully difficult thing to understand at 20 years old.
Okay. And Caps?
Yeah, the last thing I want to say, to be honest with you, is what I would say is have more empathy, when you're about 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Have more empathy for others. Like, don't be such a hardcore arsehole, because I had two older brothers, so that's what I'd say. But anyway, have a good show. See you later.
Thanks, Caps. All right, so let's see. I'm just going to go through these comments really quick. A lot of you guys are speaking to each other, saying hello. Thank you, everyone, for liking the show. See, Stinger called Shorty a troublemaker. Not sure where that's coming from. Dude, Sean says, I don't have an accent. I don't know what you're referring to. Let's see. Minnesota, love your show. We've listened to episodes on YouTube. Good job. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Heiko, the more I get old, the more I lose trusting people. Is it a growing process? Some people you trust, Heiko. Some people you don't. Some people will disappoint you, and others, you will be pleasantly surprised. And everyone is saying hello, hello. Stinger says, I barely trust anyone, but the ones I do trust are always real. Okay. And the one thing that I say, to you, anyone's younger self, if you can have friends that are lifelong, those are the ones that you treasure. Welcome, Hanny J. If you meet the ones along the way that you may not have known for 30, 40 years, or, you've only known them for a year or a month or whatever, and if they're solid, if they are good people, you want to keep them. You want to keep them because, good friends are always good to have. So that's another thing that I would say to anyone's younger self, and for anyone who is, I would say, also say my older self, which my future older self would say the same thing. Caps, you wanted to say something else?
I want to say, I hope you have an absolute brilliant Friday tomorrow and have a lovely weekend.
Well, thank you, Caps. Thank you. So, and then we will be on, I'm sorry, Ba and I will be doing Friendly Differences on Saturday. And next week, I am happy to say that we are going to have Crazy Lady is going to be on our show next Saturday, and I'm really excited for that one. So,
Are you joking, ain't you?
So we are going to be talking about the paranormal with Crazy Lady, but Saturday, Ba and I will be on friendly differences. So, okay, guys. But anyway, enjoy the rest of your day or evening wherever you are in the world. And as I say, go where the wind takes you. And
Could I say something real quick?
Yes,
Real quick,
Gio.
just real
Uh-huh,
quick. Somebody mentioned that they about people and trust. I I'm a big proponent of not let the world change you. If you're good and you don't stop omitting your light, you just have to use discernment. That people gotta earn your trust, that's fine, but don't let the world change you. You change the world, right? So that's it.
Damn right. Oh, enough respect to you, Chill Will, and you're so right. And that's it. You are right. Nice words to go on.
Okay. All right. So, Crucible, did you want to say anything else? Since Caps and Chill said something else, do you want to say something else?
No, but they both made great points. Just be true to yourself. Again, these are things I say as an adult that seem so simple, but I try to put myself back in my late teens and early 20s, and I was not capable of being true to myself. I was too insecure. But listen to people who have been where you're trying to go. Pay attention, do the best you can. It's like the golden rule. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Life is hard, but it's not complicated. That's my piece.
Okay. All right. And on that note, you guys enjoy the rest of your
Get
weekend.
Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. And we'll.
Okay, Caps. I'm gonna
I
break
love
the
you all,
music in
man.
now.
See you soon.
All right. Bye.
Sonny Blue. I always love your show, man. I'm glad I got you. I'm glad I caught you. Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Enough love.
So everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Sorry for those who came late, but this is a short show today. So, and Shy Lady, Chill, Crucible, and Caps, thanks for popping up on the panel. And for everyone who joined, thank you so much. Thank you. Rest in peace, homeboy, says dude. Okay. Brita says this is making me want to hold hands with someone. You know what? I just have an idea about
Better not
something.
catch you holding hands with nobody, woman.
Brita, you hear that from what Jill said? Better not catch you holding hands with anybody.
Back as I call, I'm gonna come there. You better have your hands in your pockets.
Oh, Jill. Listen to you.
Oh, yeah.
All right, y'all.